When loading your Baja Wrangler 2 into a vehicle, you need to be sure that you have your speed settings all the way up. That seems like the opposite of what you want, or it may seem like the opposite of what you want, but actually that is what you want. Now, you do need to make sure it's lined up on whatever your ramps are. These ramps are not scooter ramps, they're for something else, but they work. If your ramps were longer than these, you may not need this, but from experience, I've found that if you have your speed settings lower, say maybe it's not on high and it's, you know, down here for control, the scooter gets partway up, spins, comes down. When the rear tires hit the bottom of the ramp, you have a rather unpleasant rejection experience, so be sure they're all the way up. Several other things to note: when you're loading, you should never ride the scooter up. Stand on the ground on the left side of the scooter so that you can use this throttle control. If you were to use this one standing on the right, as the scooter went up, you could inadvertently give it more power than you intended, whereas this one will naturally have you come off the throttle as you're no longer able to reach it when the scooter gets up and the throttle is no longer in reach. And of course, as soon as the throttle is let off, the scooter will stop rather than crashing into your vehicle. You might want to take the seat off beforehand. It's not as if you want the seat collecting, you know, bugs and water or whatever else while you are riding, so that may be a consideration. The scooter charges with an Xlr port, or through an Xlr port. Now, due to the draw of the scooter, you probably cannot power the charger through the inverter on your vehicle unless you have an aftermarket inverter, or you have something that's specifically designed to be able to handle more current than the typical inverter. So just a few things to keep in mind there. Now, when taking your Baja Wrangler 2 scooter out of the truck, again, you'll want to stand on the left side. You start up in the truck. Once the scooter gets down so its wheels are a little bit on the ramp, its rear wheels, stop, stand on the ground, and then continue backing it up the rest of the way off of the truck. Unlike when you're going up into your transport vehicle, it's a good idea to turn your speed way down so that you can slowly lower the scooter from your vehicle. After all, gravity is working in your favor in this case, so it's best to slow things down. Even though you can modulate the throttle for a lower speed coming down, just for safety's sake, go ahead and lower that top speed as you, or before you bring your vehicle out of your transport, or your scooter out of your transport vehicle. If you're going to have the scooter being transported, it's a good idea to remove the key before you transport it so that the key doesn't go flying off. I haven't heard of it happening with a scooter, but with ATVs, certainly I have heard of that happening. But in any case, if you get where you're going and find that your keys are no longer in evidence, you're probably not going to be very happy. It'll kind of put a damper on your day. So remove the keys before you move your transport vehicle. I never mentioned how I got this cup holder on the arm here, so I want to take some time to do that. You actually have to remove the pad, the arm pad. To do that, you'll need a hex bit to remove the screws, hit both these two spots. Then the arm pad will lift off and you can set the cup holder into the armrest, put them in place, and then attach them in. Now you do have to make sure there's screw holes. You have to make sure they all fit through the screw holes. As far as issues assembling the scooter, there were two. One was there was some excess metal inside the accessory port. Honestly, I didn't file it off like I probably should have done. I instead took a hammer and with a block of wood drove the basket into the accessory port. It wasn't a whole lot of metal, and once it was in, it went, but probably I scraped on that pretty much. So that was one issue. The other issue was with the basket here. One of, and I don't remember which one of these it was, one of the holes, one of these 4 bolt holes in one of these, just one of the holes had some excess metal in it, and I just ended up putting the screw into the hole and forcing it in with the screwdriver, and it went, but I don't remember which one it was. Other than that, they were fine. Cannot say that there were really any issues to be concerned about, anything like that. There really wasn't that much assembly. Honestly, you put on these brackets for the front basket. Yes, I put this on. I put the mirrors on. I put on this cup holder. Obviously, this cup holder, you set the seat in place, you put the elbows and armrest in, you put on the back pad, you put the headrest into the seat, you fold up the tiller. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I actually had to do. I think that's it. One of the things I really don't like is if you want to use the USB port, you have to drop this cover down. It just kind of dangles there, which is unfortunate. Now, as far as the seat, it mostly seems all solid and stuff, but when you're sitting in it, you go around turns, it's anything but solid. So that's not that great. Do abide by the manufacturer. They say 10 degrees, they don't mean 25 degrees. I got a little bit stuck, and this thing's heavy, so don't do that. I did it for you, so learn from my experience and sharing that knowledge with you. One of the things I really do not like about this charger for the Baja Wrangler 2 scooter is how loose this plug is in the charger. It falls out way too easily, which is very annoying.